the most horrorous time of the year. Horror movie season, baby. Here we go. Today we're doing a double feature, a horror double feature to be exact. So the first one on our list today is Speak No Evil 2024. This is a remake of the 2021 or 2022 film. A family goes on vacation in Italy and meets another family, and that other family invites them to come spend a whole weekend at their farm estate in England. And as the family arrives and gets to know the hosts a little bit more, they begin to ravel on secrets that are more sinister. So what did I think of this remake? It was okay. Just go watch the original. The original film is so much better. It packs more of a punch. I think it's more of an interesting movie. Not that I hated what this film did. There were some things about this movie that really did stand out. First of all, James McAvoy knocks it out of the park. He is a great performer, a great actor, and he is awesome in this movie. Very threatening and thrilling and charming, yet devilish.
I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
And he plays on that line back and forth so well throughout this entirety of this film. He definitely brings a gravitas and a intensity to this film that was very different from the Paddy character, I can't remember his name, in the original film. Davis Mackenzie was great as well, Scoot McNairy, my guy, and all of the child actors in this film are great as well. The performances aren't the issue with this film because they are pretty solid, and I thought that if they had a little bit of a better script and had a little bit of better dialogue, that this film could have actually risen above the original. The first half of this movie is great. The way that they build the tension and the uneasiness, and just the entire time you feel horrible and awkward and just tense. And I love that they don't really show why for a long time, but you just know, like, this family is just bizarre. And, they're just doing one too many things that are just very strange and off-putting. And then eventually the reveal happens. And I love how carefully this film crafted that portion of the movie. There's a few intense scenes, like when they're trying to get the two kids to dance to this music and the one son is not able to do it, and like James McAvoy's like getting really mad and aggressive towards him, and there's just some really awesome, well constructed scenes throughout this messy movie. And there are parts where I was legit, thrilled, and I was excited to watch what was going to come next. The direction that they took this film in the last 30 minutes of the movie really undid a lot of the work that they built up for. The last act of this film, I thought it was pretty straightforward, like a horror survivor movie. And not that that's bad, but considering how they built up to it and then how it ends, it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Oh, the decisions that these characters make are so stupid. And here's the thing. I'm not like the number one fan of horror movies, but I do enjoy them. My biggest issue with them is that it's always characters who make decisions that you wouldn't make in real life. Like, there's a point in this movie where this couple and their kid, they have to turn the car around and go back to the farm where they're trying to get out because this kid lost a toy. If that was my kid, I'd be like, I'll buy you all the toys you want. We're not going back there. We're out. We've made it safely out of here. We're going home. But the movie keeps pulling these characters back in. And I'm okay with that. Like, that's fine because you need to keep these characters on the farm and, like, that's where the tension is and all the action will happen. But the way that this movie goes about keeping them from leaving is stupid. I'll say it. It's stupid. It's terrible writing.
Stupid is, stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
It's awful character development. Writing of these characters was just maddening at times. I was sitting there in the movie laughing at times, and not in a good way. They don't really play it as like a B horror movie. They play it as very real, very realistic. They didn't know what kind of tone to establish this movie in. Yes, they wanted to create a lot of tension and dread, but at the same time, intentionally or unintentionally, this movie is comedic. Kind of boring in the end.
So boring, man.
Okay. Considering what they were building towards the whole time, that last 35 minutes of this movie should have been like a gunpowder, an explosion going off. And I just didn't love how unoriginal it was. The adults in it are doing all of the wrong things and the kids are doing the right things, but then they make the kids do some awful things at the end of this movie. I don't know why the adults didn't just do that. It was a frustrating film. I think that's why I just can't quite recommend this movie, and I would just go see the original. The original has a poignant point of view, even if it's not a happy point of view. This movie was like, yeah, eat some popcorn, watch, James McAvoy be crazy for, an hour and 55 minutes. Overall, a decent film, not one I would fully recommend. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Speak No Evil maybe a C+. And the second film on our list for today is Never Let Go. A mother and her 2 children, boys, are living in a cabin in the woods after this world has been possessed by demons and evil, and they must survive all of the evil that comes out of the woods, trying to lure them so that they can also be possessed as well. This movie was a total surprise.
Surprise!
Surprise.
I haven't seen Halle Berry do this good of a role probably in the last 7 to 8 years. This is one of her best performances in the last 20 years of her career. And I think that she really chose a smart director, a smart script, and a character that is interesting, dynamic, evil, loving, and complicated all at once. And then the child performances in this movie. The 2 kids are brilliant in this film. I mean, they actually really carry the movie at parts when Halle Berry isn't. And I love how much screen time these 2 guys got. And their performances were spectacular. Some of the best child performances this year so far. The director of this movie was also the director of The Hills Have Eyes and Crawl. So this director has a style and a tone and a way that he tells his stories. The cinematography in this movie is great, and he does an awesome job of piecing together this weird world. And I think that's what's so great about him, is he's such a great world builder in his films, and just they feel fleshed out. The characters feel grounded and real and interesting, and their choices are backed up by, some sort of character emotion or something that they have gone through in the past. And this movie just is so good at playing with your mind and what are you seeing on screen right now? Is it real? Is it in the character's head? Is it actual evil out there? And so the entire movie basically messes with you, the audience, as it does with the kids in this film, to such good effect. I'm surprised at how much I walked out of this film going, holy crap, was that actually really amazing?
Captain Amazing.
I loved this movie. I thought it was such a great horror film. It was an original story, an original concept. Now, the concept itself is, a cabin in the woods and there's evil outside. Sounds like a lot of other horror movies. But the way that they go about telling the story and the rope and all the stuff that they encounter in this film, I thought was original and really cool. Now, there are some things in this movie that don't quite make sense. The ropes would become way more tangled. Sometimes they walk for miles. You're like, you wouldn't have that much rope. Come on. They definitely fudge some things for the storytelling aspects to keep it a mystery a bit more. But ultimately, those small things did not destroy the big picture that is this film. Yes, this movie should have been maybe 10 minutes shorter. There are some things I would have trimmed out for sure. But ultimately, the production, the sound design, the lighting, the mood that this movie sets, the performances, the legit scares, but also it's much more of a psychological thriller film than a full-out horror movie. It's a way that serves the purpose of the story, the characters, and what this movie is trying to say about trauma, mental health, parenting again, just like Speak No Evil. There's some cool themes that are explored in a very interesting way. This film feels a little bit like Cabin in the Woods, a little bit like Evil Dead, and a little bit like the TV show From. And they mix it with these great performances in this fun movie that is thrilling basically from start to finish. I've seen a lot of conversations online about this movie, and a lot of people are not ranking this film very high. And I don't necessarily see that. I don't, maybe I'm crazy. I wasn't quite sure. This is one case where I have to stand up for this film. And maybe I'm Halle Berry. I don't know. Maybe I'm lost in the woods out here.
You're crazy.
But for this film, for my opinion, I don't agree with what people are saying about this film. I think this is probably one of the better horror films of this year because this movie is an original script. It's got cool ideas and everything that I already listed throughout this review. That's why, to me, I really did enjoy Never Let Go. The other thing about this film is there is a twist at the very end. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I went, oh my gosh, that recontextualizes the entire film. And I love when movies can do that. I highly, highly recommend Never Let Go. So I'm going to go ahead and give Never Let Go a B+. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. T's Film Preach. If you like this video, make sure you click on that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, comment down below, what did you think of Speak No Evil and what did you think of Never Let Go? Do you have any other horror film double features that I should check out? Let me know with your thoughts and comments down below. Come back and check out some other video reviews such as Trap and Alien Romulus. Thanks for stopping by, everyone, and we'll see you on the next film.